Welcome to homework.
Okay, so these are the formulas we'll be using here on the top. Okay, for part A, n equals 30 and p equals 0.5. All right, so first we have to solve for mu. Okay, that's going to be our mean. All right, and that's just n times p, which equals 15. Okay, and for our standard deviation, sigma, that's going to be n times p times q and the square root of the whole thing. But we already did n times p, so that's just 15. Okay, and then 1 minus p, it's just 1 minus 0.5. Okay, that's our q. And the standard deviation is going to equal 2.74. Okay, you just round it to 2 decimal places. All right. Now, they want the probability that x equals 18. Okay, but we have to use our continuity correction factor. Okay, so for this one, we're going to subtract 0.5 and add 0.5. Okay, so let's see. So 18 minus 0.5 is going to be 17.5. Okay. And 18 plus 0.5 is going to be 18.5. All right. So x is just bound by those two numbers. All right. So we're going to have to find out the z-score for each of those. All right, so z1 is going to be x minus mu, which is our mean. Whoops, made a mistake there. All right, our mean is actually 15. Okay, and that's going to be divided by 2.74. That's going to be divided by sigma. All right, so for z1, we're going to get 0.91. Okay, and you have to look up this z-score on the table. Okay, you have to look that up on the z-score table, and you should get 0.8186. Okay, now for z2, all right, now we're going to use the 18.5. That's our x minus 15. That's our mu or mean. And again, we have 2.74 for sigma, our standard deviation. Okay, so this is going to be 1.28. Okay, just round it to 2 decimals if you need to. All right, and when you look this up on the Z table, the value for 1.28 is 0.8997. Okay, so now you just subtract these two values and take the absolute value, okay? Or just put the larger number first. So this minus this is going to give us 0.0811, okay? And converting that to percentage, that's going to be 8.11%. Okay. Part B. So for part B, mu is going to be n times p. That's 50 times 0.8. Okay, and that's going to give us 40. And then for sigma, it's going to be the square root of np, which we already said was 40, times 1 minus p. Okay, so we're going to get 8 for our standard deviation. Okay, and we want to find the probability that x equals 44. So we have to use our continuity correction factor, and that means we have to add and subtract 0.5, and our x value is going to be bound by those two numbers. Okay, so 44 minus 0.5 and 44 plus 0.5. And x is bound by 43.5 and 44.5. Okay, so now we have to do two values for z. Okay, it doesn't matter which one is z1 or which one is z2. Okay, so that's going to be x, which is 43.5, minus the mean, which is 40, divided by our standard deviation, which is 8. Okay, and for Z2, we're going to use this value for X, 44.5 minus 40 divided by 8. Okay, so for this, I got 0.44, round it off to 2 decimals if you need to, and for this, I got 0.56. Okay, so you need to use the table, the z-score table. Okay, and when you look up 0.44, you should get 0.6700. When you look up 0.56, you should get 0.7123. Okay. And the probability is in between these two. So you just subtract these two numbers and take the absolute value, or just put the larger number first and subtract. So I got 0.0423. And when you convert that to percentage, just move the decimal over two places. And that is 4.23%. Okay, finally, part C. We have mu equals 100 times 0.1, which is 10. Okay, and we have sigma equals the square root of NPQ. Okay, this is N, this is P. So we already have 10 for NP, and Q is just 1 minus P. So that is going to equal 3. All right. Now they want the probability that X equals 11. I'm sorry, X equals 12. Okay. And we have to use our continuity correction. So we add and subtract 0.5. All right. And X is bound by those two numbers. So 12 minus 0.5 and 12 plus 0.5. Now we do our Z's. Okay, it doesn't matter which one is Z1 or Z2. All right, we have X, which is 11.5, minus mu, which is 10, divided by 3. And for Z2, we have X, which is 12.5, minus 10, divided by 3. Okay, so this is going to be 0.50. So round off to 2 decimal places if you need to. And this is going to be 0.83. All right. Now, this is the z-score. You have to look up the value on the z table. Okay. So for 0.50, we get 0.6915. Okay. And for 0.83, we get 0.7967. Okay, so once again, you just subtract these two values. All right, and take the absolute value. And you should get 0.1052. In order to convert this to decimal, just move the decimal over 2 places. So that will be 10.52%.